The British tradition of taking the sea air dates back to the 1700s, and for generations ever since people have flocked to the Isle of Thanet in Kent as one of the UK's most popular destinations. Now, foreign holidays have taken their toll on visitor numbers to the likes of Margate and Ramsgate, but I've come here to Birchington-on-Sea, to the Camping and Caravanning Club's Hawke Place site, to find out whether the British seaside holiday survives. Of course, the majority of people who come to this area come for the beaches, and it's easy to see why. The sandy stretches at Birchington, Margate and Broadstairs in particular are inviting, even if the sea isn't so much at this time of year. But I'm off in search of a few activities that won't leave me with sand between my toes and salt in my hair, starting here at Margate's fascinating shell grotto, just a few miles down the road from our site. Made up of an incredible 4.6 million shells stuck to its underground walls, the grotto was first discovered by a local boy in 1838 and remains a draw to visitors all year round. But perhaps its most interesting aspect is that no one really knows how it came to be here or when. The current custodian of the grotto is Sarah Vickery. Sarah, tell me, what are the various theories on who built this place and why?
Oh, there are loads of theories as to who built this place. They range from Phoenicians, Romans, Knights Templars, Regency folly builders, aliens, you name it, someone has a theory about this place.
And what's your personal theory?
I don't have one. I've worked quite hard to stay neutral and to focus instead on conserving the place, looking after the grotto. I'm not a historian, I'm not an academic, and just because I'm here every day, it doesn't mean I'm qualified. And I think as well that if the people behind the counter are honest and open, that opens up debate more, and it means that more people go away thinking about the place, making up their own mind and maybe doing their own research.
And is there a reason why you can't just get the shells carbon dated to tell you when?
Carbon dating shells is problematic. It gives you a really big age range of hundreds and hundreds of years. That's not to say that we couldn't try it, but we'd need to take a lot of samples just to mitigate against hitting repairs, because the Victorians certainly had some intervention down here, I would say. And it would cost a lot of money. I've taken the view that whilst we've still got conservation work to do, that takes precedence.
And how did you come to be the owner of this amazing place?
Well, I was brought here every summer as a child on our holidays. It was one of my treats to be brought to the grotto. I have a collection of shell grotto bookmarks that I bought here when I was little. I saw that it was up for sale. I don't think I intended to buy it. I came down to view it, probably just out of curiosity's sake. And then the whole thing kind of grew legs and ran off, and I couldn't stop it. And 4 weeks later, I had the keys. But that was 14 years ago. I'm still happy to be here.
Put on the Buildings at Risk register in 1999, the grotto was declared safe in 2012 thanks to the efforts of Sarah and her team. Although there's still lots of work to do, it's great to know that this hidden gem will be there for future generations to wonder at. While the bright lights and arcades of Margate are enough for most holidaymakers, for one very special visitor, Broadstairs could not be bettered. Charles Dickens came here in his mid-20s, and the author fell in love with the place. So I've come to the Dickens House Museum to find out more. Lee Alt is the curator of the house today, and we're sitting in the very parlour where Dickens once sat to take tea. So Lee, what is it about Broadstairs that kept Dickens coming back year after year?
He wrote to his friends, "Come to Broadstairs for the sun, the sea and the air."
And what was his relationship with this house? Did he ever live here?
No, he never lived anywhere in Broadstairs. He came to stay. He saw this house when he was staying next door at the Albion Hotel, which was owned by Mr. Ballard. And while he was watching, he saw this rather elderly, eccentric lady rush out of the front door and hit the donkey boys with her hearthbrush. He wrote to his friend and biographer John Forster that it was hilarious, and he sought an introduction to Mary, and from then on they seemed to become fast friends. She was about 68 at the time, and he was 27 on his second visit to Broadstairs. And we have a letter in the parlour from his son Charlie Jr. authenticating this as Betsy Trotwood's cottage in the book David Copperfield.
And am I right in thinking that he even immortalised the town in print?
He did. He wrote a little essay called Our Watering Place, and a few years later he wrote one about his French watering place, so this became his English watering place. And it tells you all about the old ladies and gentlemen sitting out there and the fishermen, and the scary thing is they're still there.
Of course, no visit to the seaside would be complete without an ice cream, but I'm not about to head outside and let the seagulls get their beaks on this beauty. Morellis Ice Cream Parlour is legendary in these parts, and it's easy to see why. After I've finished this, I'll be heading back to the site, and you can join me in the next episode to find out a bit more about staying in this fantastic area. In the meantime, if you think I'm sharing this, you've got another thing coming.